So hello, and thank you for joining us for yet another of ANTOR's podcasts, celebrating 70 years of ANTOR as an association, the Association of National Tourist Offices and Representatives in the UK. We're delighted today to have the Managing Director for the UK and Ireland of Atout France, Gwenaelle Delos. Atout France were one of our founding members. There were 10 founding members, and one of those was France, and France has been a member ever since. So we want to celebrate this union and the pleasure of having France as a member of ANTOR today and talk about all things French. So to start off with, Gwenaelle, I know you haven't been a member for 70 years, but you've been a member since you've been in the UK.
Yeah.
What are the benefits to you of ANTOR membership?
Bonjour, Alison.
Bonjour.
Thank you very much for the invitation and for the opportunity today. ANTOR is a great platform for exchanges views, trends, ideas, and discuss activities. Exchange views on WTM, for example, on the situation. That was very helpful during the COVID emergency crisis. You know, the crisis management. It was very nice to have your feedback from the industry as well. Great platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And yes, one of the things that the directors do say, which is really what ANTOR is all about, is the exchange of ideas and knowing that you can talk to somebody else the same level about the market confidentially, which I think is quite important too. So how long have you been working with Atout France?
A couple of years. I started in Paris at the head office, and then I moved to our office in Stockholm. And I was in charge of the Swedish market, Finnish and Baltic countries. And then I moved on to Denmark, and I was responsible for the overall Nordic countries. And then I took over the position here in the UK in 2013.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's obviously why you speak such good English, because you probably speak your Danish.
Well, I learned Swedish as well, in Sweden.
Very good. I have no Swedish to practice, so you could say hello to me, I wouldn't know what you were saying. And what changes have you witnessed? What have you seen in the different countries or in the industry over those years? Let's put the pandemic aside, pre-pandemic.
Well, I think that the biggest change in our industry, especially on the B2B side, is that we have seen the growth of the OTAs. It had changed a lot, and then on a destination perspective, for France, we've seen a huge growth of the low cost as well. The carriers, it has changed a lot, and it helped. It helped develop the tourism industry in France, especially in the smallest and smaller destinations, and it helped promote and develop our product and services.
Absolutely. We all used to just get in the car and go for it, because France was always considered to be so close that we didn't need to get on a plane.
It's still very close.
Oh, it is very close. It's even closer with your local.
It's even closer now.
And it became such a joy, because so many different places no one had heard of started getting tourists, which is fantastic. And obviously tech is really big, isn't it? Tech over the years has just flown by. I mean, I don't know. I think, when you first think of when you started going onto computers and everything else, everything's being computerized when you're at school and stuff. And now suddenly everything's on your phone. it's extraordinary. So apps and all the development of apps must be quite important to your destination as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the changes as well is that we, because of all this technology, and we developed a more segmented, targeted approach in our work. We used to work it was quite broad, the way we were working in the beginning, promoting France and the regions, but then we can target or give the message or give the information to the right people at the right time, and then make sure that everyone in the industry works together in the same direction, so we can manage to get the carriers, the travel agents, tour operators, OTAs, destinations, everyone involved in the same activities and share the same strategy for the destination, which is very interesting.
Yes, and of course everyone's going experiential now rather than destination led, and with France being such a big wellness and therapy centre and also skiing area, and they're just two of the things I love about France, apart from all the food and wine and cities and everything else.
Yeah.
It makes it much easier to target those people right in their own homes, which is somewhat scary, but also great for us being.
We have so much to offer in France. It's very rich. The offer is just, you can find whatever you want, basically.
Yeah, it's a little potted Europe, isn't it? In one.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm a great Francophone. I've lived there and love it, and I have lots of friends there.
Thank you.
France is my second home, so I'm hoping to have a home there one day.
Where would you like to have your home in France?
Oh, well, that's why we don't have one yet, because every time we think of one place, we think of another. So we love Saint-Jean-de-Luz. We like to be near Bordeaux because Bordeaux's got a real tennis club, we play real tennis, which is the Jeu de Paume. We love the Côte d'Azur, but then we also love Languedoc-Roussillon. I mean, everywhere, Paris. I mean, I could have a house in every department in France, and I'd be a happy bunny.
What you're saying is basically that France has so much to offer that depending on your interest, your mood, the season, well, you can find
whatever you want, absolutely.
Whatever you want.
And then, of course, the people are lovely, so it makes it a really great trip. And I just can't wait to get back there skiing. So yeah, waiting. For
yes, that's one of the asset of France as well. Skiing is one of the things that we are promoting very hard now, because on a short-term basis, it's a tremendous opportunity to relaunch one of our major products.
Absolutely, and with us being such fans of skiing as a nation, and many of us like me learned to ski in France, and I lived in ski resorts in France, so I'm really a fan of the French skiing network, and my son's learned to ski there as well, so we just can't get back on those slopes. So how long were you in the industry? Did you go from university into the industry, or were you in another industry before joining Atout France?
Yeah, wow. When I was 14, I decided to work in the tourism industry. So I'm like, well,
I've always been in it.
I've always been in the industry, and that's I'm very passionate about the industry, and it's an industry that keeps evolving all the time. They have to adapt, adjust, and as you said, the tech is travel tech is changing and developing the tourism in a tremendous way, and we have such a wonderful destination to work with as well. So I'm quite passionate about it.
So we've got something else in common then. I decided at 14 I was going to join the industry as well, and started
so we have a lot in common.
Hotel management, and then moved into tourism. And I think the thing about tourism is I've discovered during COVID how advanced we are actually as an industry from a tech point of view, or how far behind so many other industries, service industries are. So we've always, I think, knocked ourselves as an industry for not being ahead of the game, but I actually think we're doing ourselves a disservice. We are really very far advanced with technology, and well, obviously with space and potential travel into the unknown. But I'm talking more about using the technology that's at our fingertips, and all the different 3D, all the VR, all the AI, all the different technologies come up with, which is great. So moving on to we'll just touch upon the C word, because we have to, because we still got it, so we need to acknowledge it. And I know I've been to France over the last 18 months 3 times, so I'm very well aware of how the protocols have worked and how well they've worked, and I was very impressed when I was there. So what stage are you at now? Obviously, in the UK, we're trying to be back to normal. We clearly accept we're not, but that it's a comfortable place to be, isn't it? You go into London, you feel comfortable again. It's buzzing, it's alive. And is that the same in France? Is that what you are experiencing now in Paris and Nice and places like that?
Well, it's very easy now to travel to France. If you're double vaccinated, there's no problem with your passport and your proof of vaccination, and just reach France with Eurostar or with Brittany Ferries or with EasyJet, Air France. Well, Jet2, it's very easy now. And then, of course, in France, you wear a mask indoor. And then you have to show your vaccination status when you want to enjoy a nice time in a restaurant or visit a museum. But it's very well organized. I have tested it myself in a couple of museums, and it's very easy, and people are very used to it now. So there's no problem at all, you know. And as you said, we had the B word, now we have the C word, and we have to live with it now. So and then of course, if we can encourage the booster jab, that would be
the next stage, won't it?
Next stage, yeah.
Yeah, and I think for the British traveller to know that you wear your masks inside, I certainly find that comforting, and I do it over here. And I think knowing that everyone else is being checked for their vaccinations like you, that gives you a bit of reassurance so that you feel more comfortable as well. So I think that's
really. And then if you really need to test, if you get tested in France, you just go to a pharmacy, and then it's done in 20 minutes. So just go to a pharmacy, and it's kind of easy, you know.
I know, even when you needed PCR tests, it was the same thing. I just had that done, and you got the results within an hour. It takes you not even 20 minutes to do the test. I think it's very, very, always very well organized.
And then the French minister for tourism, Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne, will soon announce, probably this week, the protocols for the ski industry. So that's quite important that we have we deliver very clear information about it.
Well, except for in the sunny months, if you're going skiing in December and January, you're usually wearing a mask anyway, just to keep warm.
Yeah, but then if you want to go to a restaurant after your ski, and
it's another situation. But as you say, we're living with it. We're going to live with it forever. It's a world problem. It's not just one country. We're all
it's everywhere. So the main thing as well is that there's a coordination between the countries, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming on to the future, you've mentioned ski. And I know it's very difficult at this moment in time as we do come into a new world, because we are coming into a new era. I think definitely ANTOR was thrown into the 21st century from the 20th century when we started COVID, because we weren't doing anything virtual, and now we do everything virtual, including podcasts. What are your plans as Atout France, either in the UK or generally for the next 5 or 10 years? And of course, in 15 years' time, we've all got a big agenda to achieve. So I'm sure France is going to be heading that up with everybody else and trying to our net zero. So what are your plans for that?
Yeah, so I won't answer specifically on the plan, our plans for the 5 or next 10 years. President Macron will announce a plan for tourism on November the 4th. So you
don't want to preempt him. There's pecking order here.
So that's
we'll wait for the 4th of November.
The 4th of November, just after WTM. What I can say is that on a short-term basis, we will highlight one of the positive outcomes for France from Brexit is that we have the duty-free, and then you can enjoy duty-free in France when traveling to your favorite city or favorite destination. So that's quite interesting. We will also focus on culture, and we will also focus on sustainability. We already started this, and it's not only about talking about it, it's about acting, because a lot of people just talk about it and then you have kind of greenwashing, and we don't want this. So we will, for example, implement green or sustainable criteria in the hotel classification in France.
That's very good. Yeah.
So that's one of the examples, but once again, we'll wait for President Macron details on November the 4th.
So he and you are not going to be tweeting them before the budget day.
And then, of course, one of the strongest assets of France is culture. Promoting culture in France, and that's one of the main messages as well that we will develop as well with the sporting events that we will have and welcome in France. We have this huge opportunity with the Rugby World Cup coming up. With the Olympic Games, with the Ski World Championships as well in 2023. So that's exciting.
Absolutely. I was supposed to be in Paris for the rugby in March 2020, and it had to be cancelled that weekend. The game went ahead, but we couldn't go over for it.
And now you can go back to Paris.
Go back and we can get
France is back, France is back for golf, back for shopping, back for culture, back for everything you can imagine, It's high on the agenda for 2022. I think that would be a great
I'm sure it is. Anyone that hasn't been able to go over, France is, let's face it, the top destination for people going over on holidays from the UK. Yeah. There's going to be such a pent-up demand for people who haven't been in the last 2 years to be able to go over. And of course, there's quite a lot of visiting friends and relations. I mean, the reason I go over, other than skiing holidays and holidays, is to see my friends and family. And so I think there's a lot of people that haven't been able to do that too, that would like to go. So,
and you also have wine tourism.
Absolutely.
Cycling, and then we were talking about the leisure industry a lot, but the MICE and is very important for France as well, from the UK.
And talking about sustainability, France is extraordinarily accessible by train.
Yeah.
Trains are really efficient, and also by canal.
Yes.
So you don't have
tourism.
Or even hire a car. You can, through the bike systems and everything else, you can actually do a very green holiday and feel quite yourselves coming back, having left something behind that's positive rather than negative.
Yes, indeed.
But I do think I don't know whether you'll be restarting the booze cruises exactly, but I think a lot of people have fond memories of duty free. Those of us that were able to
yes.
at the time. And there will be lots of short weekend breaks across the channel by a lot of people, which will boost all those nice channel towns and cities around.
Yeah, and we were talking about the travel tech and all this revolution. And within the duty-free industry, you have lots of travel techs and startups developing some new services with totally digital process for your duty free. So it's quite interesting as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, Gwenaelle, thank you very much for your time today. Is there anything else you'd like to add that we haven't touched on?
Yes, I would like to say a few words about our role as an organization after this unbelievable crisis that we went through. I think our main role is to rebuild the bridges between all the sectors of our industry. So we are in a position to help the carriers, the destinations, tour operators, travel agencies, products and services, destinations. We build all the links that will help the tourism to work well. That's what we are doing, and we will continue, and we will continue to support the industry the best way we can.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Gwenaelle. I'm sure the industry will be supporting France as well. Thank you very much again, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Alai. 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 Thank you, Alai.